New Sweden.
There's something strangely compelling about the ghost of a failed experiment. It lingers like vapor, what could have been, swirling through the footnotes of history. New Sweden was one of those flickers, a scrappy Scandinavian colony along the Delaware River, drowned out by the cannon roar of English ambition and Dutch efficiency. But for a brief, beautiful moment, it offered a crash course in liberty, pluralism, and the relentless human habit of dreaming big and face-planting into reality. This is the story of New Sweden, a dream launched under a crown and crushed beneath an empire. It starts in 1638. Sweden, riding high as Protestant Europe's stern, sword-wielding uncle, decides it's time to stake a claim in the New World. But this isn't your average land grab. This is a strange cocktail of monarchy-backed enterprise and DIY frontier governance. At Fort Christina, modern-day Wilmington, Delaware, the Swedes planted their flag with the lofty notion that this would be a self-governing experiment on virgin soil. Think liberty with Lutheran seasoning. The settlers, Swedes, Finns, Germans, and Dutch, built a patchwork society where land was often communal, governance was hyper-local, and cooperation was less ideology than survival tactic. This was bare-knuckle pluralism, not out of idealism, but necessity. Mosquitoes outnumbered people, smallpox lurked like a ghost in the woods, and winter didn't care about your theological distinctions. Yet somehow it worked. New Sweden wasn't utopia, but it was close enough to be interesting. It was multiculturalism before anyone had a name for it. Finns showing Swedes how to smoke meat, Germans trading livestock advice with Dutch artisans. There were arguments. There are always arguments. But the dominant tone was collaboration, not coercion. It didn't last. Enter Peter Stuyvesant, the Dutch West India Company's peg-legged authoritarian, who rolled in with ships and bluster in 1655. The Swedes, ever pragmatic, didn't resist much. They handed over the colony, refilled their schnapps, and watched their fragile dream get folded into New Netherland. To Stuyvesant's credit, he let them keep their farms, churches, and quirky customs. But the soul of the thing, its autonomy, its bottom-up spirit, was gone. The lesson was clear. You can dream all you want, but don't expect the empire to honor your blueprints. New Sweden never left a grand monument. No marble statues, no towering cathedrals. Its memory is a log cabin, sturdy, humble, and quietly revolutionary. Finnish settlers turned trees into homes, and in doing so, gave America one of its most enduring frontier symbols. The log cabin outlived the colony. It became folklore. It became metaphor. But the true legacy of New Sweden isn't architectural, it's philosophical. It showed that people from wildly different backgrounds could build a life together, not because they were forced to, but because they had to. It proved that local governance could function, that autonomy didn't require bloodshed, and that diversity wasn't a buzzword but a lived, gritty reality. Of course, no colony is innocent. Like all Europeans, the Swedes built their dream on land that wasn't theirs. They disrupted native life, though by most accounts, with less violence than their contemporaries. Still, moral compromise clings to the story. There's no clean colonial legacy, only degrees of damage. And yet, in its fall, New Sweden offers a warning. Freedom is fragile. Small decentralized communities, no matter how virtuous, are vulnerable to bigger powers with sharper teeth. Liberty needs vigilance. Like a campfire, it can warm or vanish, depending on how well you tend it. New Sweden is gone, but its fingerprints linger in America's DNA, in the myth of the frontiersman, in the log cabin, in every weird little town that prefers town halls to federal oversight. It reminds us that pluralism isn't weakness, that autonomy matters, that even the most obscure experiments can echo long after they collapse.
So, you've managed to endure a slice of the RPTM podcast. We pat ourselves on the back for possibly coaxing a chuckle out of you, but let's be real, we're aiming for the tears here. If, by some twist of fate, you actually found this clip halfway interesting, do us a favor, bestow upon us the mighty power of the thumbs up and grace that subscribe button with your presence.